G'day watchers, welcome to Perth Watch, your horology channel broadcasting from right here in Perth, Western Australia. Today I have one of the latest pieces from Venezianico, or Venetian, that's really what that name stands for. Let me just get this bezel back in the proper position in case some of you start having some seizures because you do like it in the 12 o'clock position there. All right, so this is the Neride Titania. Neride is, I guess their sports range, one of their more utility sports ranges, and this is the latest dive watch. Very much unashamedly a dive watch, of course, here. Now the price as they list it on their website is nearly 900 euros. That's essentially the better part of 900 USD. Quite pricey, but let's just talk about it and give me your thoughts on whether you feel this is justifiable value when it comes down to it. So as I always do, first up, let's talk about the movement, which is none other than a Swiss movement this time, which is pleasing. It is actually this SW200. And now a lot of you will know exactly what this movement is, probably have memorized the specs, but for completion's sake, I've listed it on the left of screen there. Rated accuracy in the standard range, and I would assume this is nothing more than a standard movement, plus or minus 12. In use, this is running about +8. So slightly fast, but still within the range of what is quoted. The quick set date in this case is fairly standard at the 3 o'clock open window that you can see there. Okay, moving on to case details and measurements here. 42.2 titanium case and 12.8 millimeter stick, 22 millimeter lug width, and lug-to-lug distance between my thumbs of 48.8 millimeters. I have actually forgotten to put this on the scale. I'll put the weight down the bottom here for reference. It does feel like titanium, it's going to be under 100 grams. Just how much under, you'll see the figure below there. In terms of finishing, we're getting long brushing on the top surface of the lugs here, long brushing on the side, circular brushing on that bezel insert, as well as circular brushing on the bottom sides of the lugs there. Very finely done. I'm not sure if this is going to translate very well on the camera, but this titanium has been finished to a very, very high level. The brushes are very fine, I have to say, and they've also achieved polished bevel on the top of the bezel, as well as the top surface, the top bevel on the lugs and the side of the case here, and the bottom. And those who know will know how difficult it is to achieve a shine on titanium. Many titanium watches, the manufacturers won't bother to shine it, and it's really excellent that they've actually achieved that at least that bit of shine on the bevel there that they have done. In terms of the case back, as you can see there, it is a screw down solid case back. I'm hoping you can see the artwork of the Atlas. This is, I guess, part of the inspiration. Apparently that's a statue in the Doge Palace in Venice. That's what it's based on, and pretty finely done. It's a screen print, it's a laser etching, it's not a deep stamp, but it is what it is, along with the details of some of the specs of the watch that you can see there. Screw down sign crown, and this is a bit more naked titanium finish there. The overall rating that they've gone for is a full-blooded 300 meters to give you a full-blood dive functionality on this watch here. Okay, moving on to the dial for the details here. Now this is a matte dial. It does have a fume effect on that blue, so it's mainly quite a blue in the middle, but as it goes towards the side, it fades out to nearly black. It's got printed details on the middle of the dial, but it does have an applied logo at the 12 o'clock position. The chapter ring element is separate to the dial, and it does have a floating effect on the indices here. It looks like it floats in. Now look, there is a base to these indices that rests on the dial, but that's actually slightly under the top surface, giving that floating effect on those polished indices here. Fairly nicely done. The hands are part skeleton baton hands with a polished finish, and it's got BGW9 application on all the usual spots. So all three hands, all 12 or 11 indice positions that you can see, plus also the entire full bezel. The application is very generous. It does glow easily all the way through the night. And of course, a lume shot for you guys to appreciate how it looks like in the dark. Right, moving on to the bezel then. So this is none other than of course, a unidirectional dive style bezel. It is 120 click. Let's listen it to here. 5. Okay, 10. I'm not going to go all the way around again. Okay, you're just going to have to put up with the 12 being there. So 120 click unidirectional dive style bezel. Very, very little back play. Very tight. Very solid feeling, I have to say. Very nicely done bezel fit here. And of course, a full ceramic insert that's brush finished that you can see there. On top of the dial, nothing too special. It's just a flat sapphire crystal with anti-reflective coating, which, it does function fairly well. So this room is pretty bright. That's why you're seeing quite a bit of reflection here. But in day-to-day use, it actually functions pretty well. Right, moving on to the strap here. So this is, it's got quite nice texture at the back here. It's FKM rubber, double keepers, right? And it has a hybrid element here, which is a textile fabric on the outside, making it look a little bit more dressy, a little bit more casual rather than just plain rubber on the top. So really quite a nice effect. I think this is one of the first straps I've had that has this kind of hybrid finish here, quick release bars, and a matching titanium buckle, which, again, well done that they've actually achieved a polished finish. I want to almost disbelieve that this is titanium, but they say it's titanium, so that's what I'm going to stipulate that is spec'd here. Okay, fairly solid, and that's the entire description of the watch. Let's slap it on the wrist now for a wrist shot for you guys to see. And there we have it, the Venezia Nicco Neride Titanio on my 17 centimeter wrist. Now this is, of course, a very big presence watch. It's 42.2 millimeter diameter. Remember, it is on the big side, 49 millimeters nearly the lug to lug distance. So that's kind of just able to get away with it, almost, borderline too big. But the thickness is actually pretty good. As I said, it was 12.8. And for this material with this type of dive capable watch, probably that's achievable because it's titanium. And that's how it looks like on that pretty nicely done strap, I have to say. Okay, so that's the entire description of the watch there. What are the pros here? Look, I have to say, of course, this is absolutely solid. It's a solid quality titanium construction diver. It's fully capable and in the brand design language. Now, in this case, it's probably limited, in terms of what they can do. They've given us that art at the back. Maybe some of those indices calls back to the brand design, Venezia Nicco and its hallmarks. I guess those bezel grips, some of those may have been inspired by Venetian architecture, at least in some of the other models. That's what they say. So there's a certain feel of their watches, and this kind of does stick to it in some way. Look, all the elements I think are actually quite well done. So the dial details, the way the hands are done, the way the indices, float above the dial, the feel of the bezel, right? The fit of that is very good. And I have to say the titanium finishing particularly, I think that's the standout. The just how fine that brushing is, the polished bevels. That is probably the best finished watch I've seen from this particular brand. And the nice strap, the hybrid design, hybrid idea, nice idea. I think that's quite nice. I quite like this design. Of course, it's not super costly, but it is actually some choice they had to make to stick that in there. And of course, this is a fully tool watch capable diver. But having said that, it's 300 meter resistant. It is still attractive enough to wear almost anywhere, and it's kind of good enough to be just about an everyday watch. It is a bit big, but hey, some people do sport big watches even with a shirt and tie. And lastly, I'll say the lume, very, very good, right? It's excellent lume that has no trouble going all the way through the night. Any weaknesses? Well, nothing really stands out, but that's perhaps part of the weakness. No single element jumps out as unique. You've not seen all of these kind of elements you've seen in other watches. So nothing is unique or particularly innovative. It is just how they've put it together to have that brand design language in there that may or may not attract you. And of course, the price, right, at nearly 900 euros, that's kind of pushing it. Yes, they've given a Swiss movement, It doesn't quite qualify as Swiss made, I think, they didn't actually put it there. They didn't put it on their website. So it doesn't quite qualify as a Swiss made watch, but it is a Swiss movement. You definitely would be expecting it at this price, but is it too much? Let me know in your thoughts below what kind of value proposition this represents in today's environment of rising prices and inflation. Is this something that people would consider? So guys, thank you again for joining me on this review. I look forward to the comments below, and as always, I'll see you guys next time.